Dear Aunt Flo is a podcast about bad periods, and I'm your host, Elisa Michelle. Every month, we'll dive deep into my own vaginal monologues as I discuss my journey with endometriosis and share stories that we wish someone would have warned us about sooner. I am your new period BFF, so let's get comfortable speaking about our cycles. It has been a long time since I've yapped on here with y'all and showed you my new do. Yes, she's locked officially, about 3 months officially. Okay, I don't know why I keep saying officially. Been locked for 3 months now, and best decision ever because, okay, you can only know if you're watching this on YouTube, but I recently locked my hair. It's been 3 months, and it's the best decision that I've made because I've saved myself so much time. And she's cute. Like, I'm so excited. I can't wait for her to grow. She's now this one's no longer an orphan lock. She now has siblings. The irony of that statement just now. Okay. Let's catch up. The last time we spoke, I was romanticizing life without endo because I was getting ready for my upcoming surgery, which I got some interesting feedback on that episode because someone came at me as though I don't know that endo is a full body condition and it's just not about your period. And I asked her if she's ever listened to an episode because how dare you, for one. And also, like, duh, we all know this. Anyone with endo knows that it is a full body condition. Okay. Anyway, this episode is all about catching you up on what's been going on since my surgery, how my body's doing, how my mind is doing, plus what's coming up next. If you're new here or you're just joining this period party, welcome. Whether you listen or watch, I hope that you interact with us. Share this with your friends on social media. Share this with a fellow endo warrior. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to get all the notifications when I drop an episode, whether they're random or not. It's been since September, I think, of last year since I've dropped an episode. So sorry, but here we are. New season, new year alert. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, or Substack podcasts, please take a few minutes to just leave us a review. It will help other people get to know us and find us at Dear Aunt Flo. And you can also follow us on IG at dearauntflo.pod. Okay. For those who know, you know what we're about to do next, and that is a letter to Dear Aunt Flo. Dear Aunt Flo, I haven't seen you in all your glory for about 5 months now, which has been lovely, yet also a little annoying because even though I'm currently on a hormone suppressant, you keep lurking around every single day. Sincerely fed up, Elisa Michelle. Okay, friends. So at the end of September 2025, I had my first excision surgery. After 7 years of crying to doctors, I finally found one that heard my cry and helped. We love it. So at the end of my surgery, though, my doctor said that I was top 10 of her worst cases. Like, it's funny because I know what I've been experiencing all these years, and yet every single doctor could not provide help beyond saying basically to get used to living like this, prescribing birth control, or offering a full hysterectomy as though that was going to be the cure-all for all of my issues. Again, at the top of this episode, I noted that endo is a full body condition. Getting rid of my uterus, my reproductive organs, is not going to cure me from having endo, because endo does what she wants and she grows wherever she wants. Just keep that in mind. If a doctor is telling you to have a full hysterectomy and that's not what you want for yourself, for your future, seek a second opinion. Yeah, so none of these things are going to fix the problem. There's no cure for endo, unfortunately. And surgery is currently the gold standard because you're going in and removing the bad stuff. Hopefully, that will help bring you relief. Hopefully, it will help to not have it come back. My 4-hour surgery, the scheduled 4 hours that a typical excision surgery takes, took my surgeon 6 hours, and that's only because she stopped after 6 hours because she didn't want to put my body through any more trauma. My endo, if you're new here or if you have no, overall knowledge of what endometriosis is, I always shorten it to endo. You'll also hear me refer to ando, which is adenomyosis, but know that I'm talking about endometriosis and adenomyosis when I shorten them to say endo or ando. Anyway, my endo had leached itself to every part of my uterus: bladder, rectum, ovaries, fallopian tubes, also making it adenomyosis because it was growing within the tissue as well. Fibroids were beginning to form and take over, and my fertility was slowly dying by the day. I had a burst cyst in my abdomen that was oozing endometrial fluid for months that I was complaining to my doctors about, and they claimed that it was just a distended stomach. This all just tells me that I am a walking miracle, and I am sorry if you don't believe in God, but there is no other explanation for how I am still alive to this day. To experience this level of pain every single day for weeks, for months, for years, unimaginable. And I want to do everything in my power to advocate for women with endo, because life should not be this way. So here we are, almost 6 months post-surgery, and I'm scheduled to have my second excision surgery at the end of March, which is next month. This surgery is a continuation of the first surgery because, as I mentioned, it went longer than it should have, and there's still some work to be done. The first round, too many of my organs are fused together, and it would have compromised and put my body in more harm than not. So this current surgery, or this upcoming surgery, is what's called a co-surgery. So I have my surgeon and a co-surgeon who is a colorectal surgeon. They will be tag teaming to remove the remaining endo and ando, fibroids, cysts, cleaning up my entire uterus, and also going in and doing a bowel resection and an appendectomy. Oh, I get tongue-tied on that word all the time. But yes, I will also be having my appendix removed. It's a lot, I know. In the meantime of all of this, since November, I was put on a hormone suppressant to lessen the amount of estrogen that my body was overproducing. So typically, people with endo have an extreme or an excessive amount of estrogen. So this hormone suppressant that I've been put on is lessening the amount of estrogen, but not fully taking the estrogen away and putting me in menopause, because that would be wild. And I said no to that. And that drug, there's a couple, I think, but the most currently infamous one is called Lupron, and I refused to be put on that because the damage in the long run was not worth the relief that you get in the short term. So yeah, after my surgery, my period never came, didn't come for that entire month of October. And my surgeon did not want me to get my period because it would have just continued to cause more trauma to my body. And so she put me on this. And this is a low dose form of progesterone, synthetic progesterone, because it's not actually progesterone, it's progestin. Anyway, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to go into the details, but it's a low dose form of progesterone where I'm not getting my period basically until my surgery is done. So I haven't seen my cycle for 6 months, honey. Almost 6 months. The original plan was 3 months, but health insurance and blah, blah, blah time. Here we are. The side effects of this tiny pill. I mean, she's tiny. The side effects so far are night sweats, bloating, daily spotting, and a random skin bruising that my new dermatologist says is just inflammation with a side of hyperpigmentation. Yay. And she also didn't confirm that the meds are what caused it, but I don't know what else it could be. So that's where I'm thinking, because I don't normally have skin issues. So this is new, and it popped up pretty much a month into me taking the new medicine. So plus, I had 1 week of a crash out that I was able to calm down from once I realized that it was the medicine causing the crash out. So, yeah, I've gotten a lot of time back post-surgery and recovery to be able to work in my business again, spend time with friends, work out and lift real weights. I gained my weight back and then some. Okay. Sleep. I've been able to sleep so much better and just enjoy life as best as possible, because clearly the world outside is still on fire. For the most part, though, I felt so much better than I did last year or even the past 7 years. And this year marks year 8 with living with endo, and unfortunately, she just keeps on giving. One thing about endo is that she makes her own rules. I, and most people with endo, think of her as a cancer. She forms her own ecosystem and does what she wants and grows where she wants. I know, it's rude. Believe me. So if you take away her estrogen, she will produce her own. Like, who does that? So I'm pretty sure that's what's happening in my body currently. I recently had an MRI done that shows more fluid in both of my tubes, fluid in my uterine cavity, multiple fibroids, endo on my bladder, and the tethering to my rectum has just elongated. I don't know how else to describe that. I'm pretty much being left with a very tough decision for this next upcoming surgery. Do I have my tubes removed or not? I think the hardest part of all of this is being a person who is leaning so much on my faith right now that I feel like I'm not fully trusting God if I say, yes, remove my tubes. Does that make sense? Like, my doctor can and will do all that she can to preserve my fertility and clean them up. But like, once she goes in, like, there's no telling what she'll find and what she'll have to do. And I have to make that decision beforehand so that she doesn't have to stop mid-surgery, go find my husband, and have him make the decision. I have to be okay with the possibility of losing both of my tubes in the next 30 days, and therefore completely removing any chances that I have to naturally conceive children. And it's such a complicated feeling, right? You want to do what's best for your health and your body, but when you have faith, there's just that tiny mustard seed of faith where you're just like, do I speak life over my body and pray that God will heal me and trust that He hears my cry? Do I listen to the doctor's advice and remove what seemingly can't be reversed? The risk of keeping the tubes as they are is having ectopic pregnancies, and that is detrimental to my health, as well as not being able to fully carry a child. It's a hard decision to make because I'm so angry. I'm so angry at the medical system, how negligent and dismissive they are with women and their health and their concerns. And had someone listened to me even 3 years ago, I don't think I'd be in this situation. And since we can't change the past, we can only dictate the here and now. I'm left with an impossible decision. I never thought this would be my story, and it's the story of so many others. Women who have gone through IVF or gone through adoption to build and grow their families. There are stories of women in my same predicament that probably kept their tubes and had a miracle happen. And I really want that miracle. So that's where I am now, preparing for my next surgery and possibly having both of my tubes removed. Praying that my quality of life will get even better after this, and hope with all of my heart that this isn't the end of my legacy. I'm so sorry to end this on such a sad note. Oh my goodness. If you have a story to share about like a beautiful ending to a sad diagnosis, please feel free to leave that in the comments. If you've gone through excision surgeries, if you've gone through IVF, like, leave your story in the comments. This space, this community is an open and welcoming space to be able to exchange and share our experiences with each other. And you never know who you might help or encourage or even just prepare if it is a worst case scenario situation. It just helps to know that you're not alone. We're not alone. And us endo warriors, we gotta stick together. Ironically enough, my devotion this week and today was about Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. So let's drop an affirmation to close us out. I choose life. Say it with me. I choose life. I love you. I see you. I hear you. Peace. Hey BFFs, thanks for tuning in to Dear Aunt Flo. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to show support, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts. This will help more period BFFs find our community and add to the conversation. Follow on IG at dearauntflo.pod and let me know what topics you'd like to cover this season. Catch you in the next episode, period.